Well, I am back from a week in London. Well, like 4 nights in London. God, this chair's really creaky. And a whopping 5 shows in a 4 nights. And it's safe to say that I am pretty tired right now, but I'm still really like fired up from some of the stuff that I saw. So I'll give you like a rundown of the shows that I saw while I was away. So I saw Six on my first night. Then Wednesday I did Everybody's Talking About Jamie matinee. Then I did Mary Poppins on the evening. And then the Thursday I did And Juliet. And on the Friday night I did 9 to 5. Oh my god, right. Such a lot going on. So I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown of the shows I've seen, and then I'm going to do a separate thing for all the other cool historical stuff that I did when I was down there, because I feel like it's a bit of a week of two halves. So first night I did Six, and I was sat in the second row, which is very similar to where I was sat the first time I saw it, and I just loved it all over again. I love when the queens are like, wait a minute, we're just viewed as part of Henry's history. That's really indicative of the fact that men wrote all this stuff and we're just victims of the patriarchal notion of history. Love that. Love that. As someone who studied history and was like, yeah, this is like just men bigging themselves up, that was just perfection for me, right? So, loved that. Amazing. It was a different cast slightly to what I'd seen before. So last time I saw Vicky Manser, she was the Super Swing, and she was playing Catherine Parr. But now she's Catherine Howard, like full time. So she was really, really good. She's so funny, and her dance moves in like House of Holbein, where they're giving really dodgy moves, was hilarious. I loved her for that. Courtney Bowman is now Anne Boleyn, and last time I saw her, she was in Everybody's Talking About Jamie, so that was a nice little connection. But she was brilliant, and what I loved about it was Anne Boleyn is like the sexy one, but she is like a real size performer, so she's not like super stick thin and everything. Not saying like she's like obese, that's not what I'm driving at here. She just looks like a normal person, and she was like, yep, I'm the one that he wanted. And I thought that was brilliant. I really, really admired them for that. It's what I love about Six is that they do kind of race-free casting, and just kind of regardless of looks, it's very much a confidence level in the performance that they cast for. So yeah, that I enjoyed a lot. I filmed the Mega Six, which you're allowed to do. Right, don't come at me about people filming in theatres, because I hate that, right? But yeah, when Catherine Howard says get your phones out, you're going to want to see this, you get your phone out. So I'm going to put a link to the video in my blog with that again, because it's on YouTube anyway, because I got excited and posted it before I even go back to the hotel. But yeah, Six. As ever, thoroughly recommend that. Thoroughly recommend that. It fired you up. I had to laugh because in the foyer before we went in, there was a lady looking through the programme. She went, "Oh, where's Henry? There's no Henry." I was like, "That is not the point of Six, lady. You are about to get educated." And yeah, I think she did. So Six, definitely big thumbs up again from me. Wednesday was a 2-show day, but I'm kind of going to skip a little bit out of order here and go through Jamie, then 9 to 5, then flip back to the new ones, because I feel they're the headlines of this. So yeah, Everybody's Talking About Jamie was amazing again. We've got a different Margaret this time, but a lot of the cast was the same. Leighton Williams is still Jamie, and I got a picture with him at the stage door afterwards. I was like, "Oh, can I wish you can have a quick selfie?" He was like, yeah, of course you can. So I opened the camera, and like, I don't know what I did. I just pressed the wrong button. He was like, "Oh, give it here. I'll get us some good angles. I'll give us options." So we were there, like outside the stage door, like proper mugging it. So that was good. I really enjoyed that. It was really nice. Yeah, it still kind of gets you, insofar as it's all about just being like you and doing you, and does it really matter what everybody else thinks? Everybody else should support you in being you, and I like that about about Jamie and, you know, quite a few other musicals that are out there at the minute. It's all about acceptance and kind of being yourself and supporting other people. And Pretty is still my favourite character in Jamie. I think she's amazing. When they're at the prom at the end and he's like, look, I've turned up the prom in my dress, that's all I wanted to do, I've seen you all off, I'm going to go home now. And she's like, are you effing kidding me? It's like the best thing ever. And when she tells the bully Dean off and just like, do you know what? Say what you like about me. You're important in this world for the next 5 hours of my life. I've got the rest of my life to be me, and you're a big fish in a small pond. You have peaked. Enjoy yourself. Oh my god, I love that. That really gets me every time, because I just think, yeah. I think we've all got like people that we would love to be brave enough to say that to, and Pretty is, and I love her for it. Yeah, brilliant. Anything where, like, you know, drag acts are whipping about the stage, being all like, yep, you do you, I love. So yeah, Jamie, every time. Yeah, 9 to 5 then. I'll skip ahead a couple of days. We're on to like Friday night now. Yeah, it was very much the same as before, in that I still really enjoyed it. You could tell that Brian Connolly was doing a bit of like mucking about, not so much mucking about, but like kind of putting his own twist on things, because he did a couple of things slightly differently to last time I saw it. You know, last time I saw it when he put his like leg on the desk where he's singing to Doralee, and he was like giving a bit of like a hip wiggle and everything. This time he for some reason rolled his sleeves up and started rubbing his own legs. That was funny. It will never not be funny when they hoist him up into the ceiling on like the winches, and then he's still there at the other end of the interval. Because they just leave him hanging and all the lights come up and everyone's buying ice creams and he's just there like looking at his watch and going, if you take a picture, I'll kill you, and all this. And it makes me howl, and it still feels good. And I just still love that Dolly Parton manages to get all these little like political Trump-related digs in throughout 9 to 5. I also still love the fact that she sets the joke up about Judy's ex-husband being called Dick right at the very beginning, and then the punchline is at like 10 o'clock. I think that's brilliant. 3 hours for a punchline of a joke. Like, it's bubbling and it's brewing, and every time he comes in and they go like, and she's like, oh, I just really miss Dick. It's funny. But then right at the end, where she makes her fortune on a self-help book called Life Without Dick. Brilliant. Well done for like dragging that joke out for 3 hours, because it makes it so worth it. It was Caroline Sheen as Violet this time. Last time Louise Redknapp was playing Violet, and yeah, Caroline was brilliant. Like, you could tell she is just like a superstar of the stage. She was hilarious, and Natalie McQueen she just never needs to leave 9 to 5. She can never go anywhere, because it's just so perfect, her as Doralee. You know, like when Dolly's doing the introductions at the beginning and she's like, oh, Violet's this, that and the other, and Judy's this, and then she gets to Doralee and she's like, you know who she is. Like, yep, she's playing the Dolly Parton role. And yeah, just she's phenomenal. She's really funny, but she's really tough at times, and I really enjoy the fact that they take lines directly from the film, and it is very, very like the film. If you like the film, you will love the musical. It's one of those things, because the film was really ahead of its time, actually. So yeah, it's very kind of the moment, even though it's from like 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. Still very much big issues right now. So yeah, another one that I thoroughly recommend. So yeah, I'll skip back to Thursday night, I think, first. And Juliet. Oh, it was so tongue-in-cheek. It was one of those ones where they're like, we know musicals are kind of crazy, and we know this is ridiculous, and we know that there's cheesy jokes. Oh, we're going to throw them all at you. Okay, we know this is what's happening. And I was howling at some bits of it. It was so funny. So basically, William Shakespeare, who's played by Oliver Tomsett, love him, and his wife Anne Hathaway, Cassidy Johnson, again, love them both. he's outlining the plot for Romeo and Juliet, which he's just finished writing, and she's like, well, that's a bit depressing. Why does that have to happen? How about she doesn't kill herself? How about that? And he's like, well, we could give that a go. So he basically, Shakespeare's brilliant because he writes himself into all kinds of different bits in the play. Like he's a driver that's taking them to Paris when they're running away from Verona. Like he just keeps coming up going, just a friendly carriage driver. In a really knowing way. He's a DJ at a party that they get to, and like Anne Hathaway just keeps looking at him going, really, you're in this bit now? He's like, yep. But then she casts herself as the best friend. So she's got the best friend who is Anne Hathaway, who she knows is April, and she's got another best friend called May, who is he was born male, identifies as like female pronouns, and views himself as a girl. And basically Juliet has gone away because her family want to send her to a nunnery now that obviously everything's kicked off with Romeo, and she meets a guy at a party, and his dad wants him to join the army because he can't find anybody to marry. But actually why he can't find anybody to marry is he actually falls in love with May, and through various different bits of misunderstanding, they agree that it'd be easier if Francois, which is the guy at the party, and Juliet get married, because then she doesn't join the nunnery, he doesn't join the army. They get on, so it's it's not like they hate each other, but they're not in love. But whatever, this serves a purpose for them both. But May's obviously fuming at this, but he can't really say I like this guy. So Shakespearean misunderstanding at its finest. But it's all music of like Max Martin, who wrote for Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. So many pop songs. Jessie J, Kesha, Adam Lambert. There's loads of songs that you know. You don't necessarily get all of the songs, but sometimes they just serve a purpose for like getting a laugh. So yeah, I mean, Romeo, who is Jordan Luke Gage, Shakespeare decides that there's not enough intrigue and mystery and misunderstanding going on. So he's like, all right, smart Alecan, how about Romeo didn't die either? So Romeo makes his big entrance, like just before the interval, riding down from the ceiling on a swing with a marquee with his own name on it, singing It's My Life. And he is just so like, he's really like goofy and excitable. He's like a little puppy. Jordan Luke Gage played a blinder. I mean, obviously I'm a huge fan of his, so no surprises there. But yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Francois Dubois, who was known as Frankie Dubois for short, him and his dad and his three brothers were performers in like when they all lived at home before his brothers joined the army, and they were in a band called Dubois Band. And they all come back. Well, they don't all come back because the brothers are like away fighting. And Shakespeare's like, oh, I can smuggle Romeo into this wedding because they're going to perform as their brothers. So Shakespeare, Romeo and May all dress up as if they're the brothers. And they all sing Everybody, like Backstreet's back, all right. But they don't sing Backstreet's back. They go, Dubois Band's back, all right. I loved it. And Frankie's wedding vows are like, he's got this bit of paper and he's like this, he's like, I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me. That's like his entire wedding vows. And then he's like, no, I can't marry Juliet because I don't love her. I'm in love with somebody else, May. And his dad's a bit like taken aback. And then, like the meme that you get on the last day of April every year of Justin Timberlake going, it's gonna be May, because he says it really weird. He starts singing the start of that song, and I'm already laughing. I'm like, I've got the punchline here. I'm already like beside myself. And he's like, It's gonna be my. There was loads of jokes like that in there. Yeah, so the gist of it is Juliet's like, look, I don't even want to get married anyway. This is like was just convenience for me. I don't really have to go into a nunnery or do anything that anybody says. You're gonna listen to me and what I want. Basically, it's all about like her taking empowerment for herself, and that's what Anne Hathaway wanted her to do when she started taking over the story from Shakespeare. Because she doesn't feel like she's got any control in her life because she'll always just be Shakespeare's wife, who all that she was the woman that he married and then left his second best bed to, because that's what everybody knows about her. So she kind of feels a bit put out by being second best. And then he comes on, the Shakespeare, and he's like, you are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I love Anne Hathaway. Oh, I loved it. I loved everything about it because it was so like little winks to the audience as if, hey, guess what joke we're setting up for you now. It was everything. Everything. If you are a highbrow critic who wants like Ibsen, you're going to hate it. And I love it for that. That is the reason why I love it, because it's one of those ones where you just come out with the biggest grin on your face ever. Miriam Teakley as Juliet is a star, like an absolute star. There's not much of like the performance she's not really in, and she has to belt some blinders, you know, like Baby One More Time, Raw. Yeah, I love it. And then at the end she's like, okay, Romeo, I do quite like you still. We're gonna go on like a first date. This is what it's gonna be for Juliet and Romeo. And he's like, whoa, why can't it be Romeo and Juliet? And she just looks at him and goes, 'cause I want it that way. And then they all come out and sing Can't Fight the Feeling, and it's I tell you what, the fact that they gave me a boy band featuring David Badella, Ollie Thompson and Jordan Luke Gage, like I've got notes in a notebook for a blog I was going to write about like my ideal musical theatre girl and boy band, and there was 2 boy bands that I made. One was like a boy band, which I won't tell you about just in case I blog about it, and the other was like a bit of a rough and ready rockier boy band, and 2 of the entrants on there are Ollie Thompson and Jordan Luke Gage. So it's like literally someone got inside my brain and put that together for me. Like Jordan and Ollie in a boy band is a dream. That's something I could only dream about. But I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I was just grinning from start to finish. And yes, it's daft, and yes, there are jokes that you're like, oh, that is so corny. But they know that they're corny. They know that this is happening. There is no bit of this that isn't tongue-in-cheek. They're not trying to take themselves too seriously. They're not trying to, you know, reinvent the wheel. The idea is you're here for a good laugh and a good time. And actually, isn't Shakespeare kind of ridiculous? Let's just throw that out there. Loved it. Loved everything about it. And I stood at the stage door waiting afterwards because that was a theme of my week, apparently. And I didn't get to meet Ollie, which I'm a bit disappointed about, but you can't have everything, can you? So I stood there waiting, and I'll put the pictures below in the actual blog bit, because I only got a picture of a couple of them, but I got my programme signed by a couple of the stars. So Cassidy Jansen I met, and she signed my programme. David Badella I met, and he signed my programme. He's really tiny. He was a bit shorter than me. I don't know why I expected him to be tall. Probably because the last thing I really saw him properly in was the recording on YouTube of Rocky Horror, and he was in 6-inch heels. That's probably where I'm coming from with this. But anyway, I met David Badella, which the amount of times I've watched Chet in concert, and he's phenomenal in just... So I was a bit starstruck with that. I met Miriam Teakley. She's lovely, can I just say. I was like, can I just get a quick picture? And she's like, yeah, of course you can, come here, let's cuddle up. And the guy next to me, he wanted an autograph as well, and he was like, oh God, I can't lay my hands on my pen. And she She's like, no, I've just signed with you. Can I just rub it for 2 more seconds? Like, thank you so much. And she was so nice and so smiling. You could tell she was having like a whale of a time. Jordan. I wrote to him when he was in Bat Out of Hell, and my letter was on his dressing room wall. So I was really excited to meet him. He was so nice. He's so softly spoken for a man that can belt the end of Bat Out of Hell and sing It's My Life while swinging from a swing. It was so nice, so polite. And then I met Jocasta Angel, who was playing Juliet's mum, Lady Capulet, amongst other things, because it's not like, she's not on all the time, Juliet's mum, obviously. But yeah, she was playing Juliet's mum. And she picked my programme, and like my ticket fell out because I took it in the front sleeve. She went, oh God, I'm really sorry, is that me? Let me grab that. And I went, oh no, you're alright, I had it tucked in somewhere, but I didn't know where. And she just like stopped and looked at me and went, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm from Yorkshire. And she went, yeah, I know, but whereabouts are you from? I'm like, right. This is it's a small town, you won't have heard of it, nobody does. I said, it's not far from Hull, it's called Goole. And she went, yeah, I know it. She's like, I grew up Preston Road end of Hull. She, what? I was like, I did a speed awareness course there and I got done speeding. She was like, yep, that sounds about right. So we had a little chat there. She was like, she goes, as soon as I heard you speak, I was like, oh, I know that accent anywhere. So yeah, she was brilliant, lovely, lovely cast. Yeah. So that's Anne Juliet. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Just go see it, because it's you can't leave without laughing and smiling. You can't. It's not possible. So yeah. But probably, and there is this distinct possibility I'm going to well up when I'm talking about this one, because that's just how it got me, right? Mary Poppins. It's just game over, done. Like, Mary Poppins is, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, probably the most spectacular thing I've ever seen in all my years, right? Weirdly, I made a list before I went on holiday of all the musicals that I'd seen, and I think I got to like 26, 27. I've never seen anything like Mary Poppins, ever. The nearest thing I can describe it to you is when I went to see Les Mis for the first time and left the theatre wanting to go to St Pancras and storm Paris. Like, I was about ready to set up a barricade in Paris when I left Les Mis, and that's the nearest feeling I can describe it as. Just insofar as, like, I can't remember ever leaving a theatre just feeling so overwhelmed, and like, I went back to the hotel, and I'm not kidding, I made notes, because I was that worried I'd forget some of the things that I'd seen in there, and I didn't want to ever forget it. So it's more similar to the stories in the books than it is the film. But obviously there's the songs from the film and some of the points from the film, and she looks like the costume of Julie Andrews in the film. But the effects and the things that were going on were absolutely spectacular. And I know I'm obviously I'm more about the performance and stuff, but combined with like a perfect performance from Zizi Starlin and Charlie Stemp with all these effects, it just really just knocked me for 6. So yeah, it starts with the kids writing a letter and giving the list of things they want in a nanny. And the set was just incredible, right? It was like a house, and then it folded out into the inside of a house, like a doll's house. Like, it was like a sketch, and then it just did that and folded out into like a hallway with the stairs and everything. And when they finished writing the letter for what they wanted in a nanny, it kind of went dark, but not fully dark. You could still see, they're still really bright on the family. And I'm not kidding, it went lights up, lights down, lights up rather. And when it did that, she was stood behind him with the umbrella like that. And I have no idea where she came from. But that was brilliant. That set me up. She did the full, like, thing with the carpet bag, where she went up to the nursery and she opened the carpet bag that she'd been carting around, right, on a table where there was nothing underneath it because Michael went underneath it, and she was like, well, I always say the best place to hang a hat is on a hat stand. And the hat stand came out, and a barometer came out, and a mirror came out, and all this stuff came out. A pot plant came out, and the entire audience just went every single time. I don't know how it happened. I really don't know how it happened. You know, she slid up the banister, like in the film where she just goes up. I don't know how it happened. A spoonful of sugar was in the kitchen. The Mrs. Banks is trying to throw a tea party for people that George thinks that she should be getting on with. They're the right sort of people. They're the people that you should hobnob with if you want to get on in life, that kind of thing. So, but she's an ex-showgirl, so they don't really like these sort of people. But she's making a real effort, and she's really down in the dumps when they don't come and everything. But what happens is the cook gets distracted and goes out for a bit, and Jane and Michael are like, well, I can make icing for the cake. So they make this great big mess, and it goes poof, and all the kitchen goes in disarray, all the shelves fall down, and plates come off, and all this, and cupboards fall open. And then Mary Poppins sings a spoonful of sugar, and it all goes back into place. But they've got this, like, fruit cake under a towel, and she does that and whips it up, and it's this beautiful pink iced thing. You know, when they're cleaning up, she gives these 2 paper bags to Jane and Michael, and I'm not kidding, they're like A4 size, and she opens them up and pulls out a sweeping brush. Like, I don't know how it happened. Yeah, she flew, like, quite a few times. I say quite a few, I'm talking like 4 times. How she came back on after the interval was Jane and Michael had run away because she'd gone, and Dad's old nanny, Miss Andrews, came, and she was horrible. She wanted to give him, like, brimstone and treacle and cod liver oil and all these horrible, horrible things. That she was a real tyrant, which explained how Dad had come to be like he was. Because he was really cold and a bit, like, you know, standoffish. So she came, and they ran away because they didn't like her. And they met Bert in the park. Perfect Bert. Like, I've said before that I was excited because it was the best piece of casting news I'd ever come across. Whoever cast him, Charlie Stemp as Bert, that is me taking my hat off to you, because there is nobody else, West End performer, Broadway performer, anywhere in the world performer that could do Bert like Charlie Stemp could. He's perfect. There was not anything that I would change. He was perfection. But anyway, they find him in the park, and he's got this kite, and the park keeper's like, here, I want to go on this kite. I haven't used a kite since I was a kid. So they're mucking about, Jane and Michael and the park keeper and him, and they all sing Let's Go Fly a Kite, and people come on and they're flying kites on the stage. These kites are whipping about, and then the wind changes and the kite goes off stage, and they're like, oh, it's stuck. So they're pulling it, and as they pull it, Mary Poppins comes flying down with this kite. It's brilliant. Yeah, it was just, there was so much going on that I could just talk forever and ever about all the tricks and things that happen, but I don't want to, because I feel like if anybody goes to see it and you know all the tricks that are going to happen, you're going to be like, oh yeah, we knew that was happening. Because there's so much happening that I was just like going, like, I didn't know where to put my eyes. I could do to see it again, because I feel like there was things going on in my peripheral vision that I want to see more of. One thing that I will say, though, is I witnessed with my own 2 eyes Charlie Stemp dancing on the ceiling of the Prince Edward Theatre. The ceiling. No word of a lie, the ceiling. So they went out into the rooftops to sing Step in Time, obviously. So all these chimney sweeps come out, and the set for that is spectacular. It's so simple, because it's just a load of, like, rolling chimneys that come on and off, but it's first started off in silhouette with them all, like, on the chimney stacks. It's beautiful. It's stunning. So they're all singing Step in Time, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going for the big one. And they're all there going, Step in Time, over the rooftop, Step in Time. And I'm not kidding. If you imagine the stage, it must be 40 feet high. I don't know. I'm not great with judging distance, but it must be that, if not more. And he walked up the side of the stage, and everyone's going, no. Because I thought initially he was going to walk up a couple of steps and flip back like Donald O'Connor in Singing in the Rain. No, he walked all the way to the top of the stage, and then everyone was going, no, he's not going to. Yep, upside down. So he walked across the top of the steel on stage. And then he got to the middle and upside down he just went, over the rooftop, step in time, and did a little tap dancey type thing. I've never seen anything like it, ever. And then he just walked all the way back on the other side. I've never in my life have I witnessed anything like it. Until the finale, right? And this is where it really gets me, because I'm not kidding, there was grown adults in the theatre crying. And what happened was Mary obviously went because the kids didn't need her anymore. And I'm already getting like welled up about it. And what happened was obviously she flew away and the kids were fine and they were like, we'll never forget you, Mary Poppins. And she flew from the back of the stage, over the stage, over like the set of the rooftops. And then she carried on going and she went over the stalls, up and over the dress circle where I was, and up into the far corner of the grand circle. Like, you know, umbrella carpet bag, like nodding at people as she went. The entire audience just went mad. Like, absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I don't know how they did it. Like, I'm not stupid. She was on wires and stuff. But how they got the wires to go all the way down, over and round about in the path that it did, I honestly couldn't tell you, but it was spectacular. And it is the best thing I've ever seen in a theatre, insofar as it just took my breath away beginning to end. Yeah, Mary Poppins flying over the audience is the best thing I've ever seen. The woman next to me just burst into tears, and then I did. Then the woman that side did. All of a sudden, the entire audience was like 6. It was insane. How could I forget? Petula Clark was in it. Petula Clark, as in downtown Petula Clark, was playing the Bird Woman. Like, phenomenal. So yeah, that is my absolute 100% top recommendation that I feel like everybody in the entire world needs to see. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from. I'm nearly going to sing I don't care what you did as long as you love me. But yeah, you need to go see that. I was a little bit worried about seeing anything else after it. You know, I left there on the Wednesday afternoon thinking, I've done a right bad thing here, I should have saved this for Friday night, because what if I don't like Anne Juliet by comparison? You know, what if I go out of that thinking, yeah, it was good, but Mary Poppins has got it. But actually they were so totally different that it didn't really matter. You know, in the back of my mind for the rest of the week, I was thinking about Mary Poppins. Then I'm still thinking about it now, and I listened to it all the way back on the train, that and Anne Juliet. But because they were so different, it really worked. So yeah, everybody needs to go see Anne Juliet. Everybody needs to go see Mary Poppins. Everybody needs to take tissues for Mary Poppins, because I was just like ugly crying in the theatre. Yeah, top tip. Go see both of those. And obviously 95 and Jamie and 6. But I need to go see Mary Poppins again, so please, somebody send tickets. And an umbrella. Because flying down there has got to be cheaper than a train. I don't think I'd be able to fly off the audience like ZZ style on there. Just wow. Wow. That's my one-word review of Mary Poppins. Wow.